Welcome back, Econ Kiddos. Now we're going to take all of those screen grabs that you had from the first tutorial and we're going to put them into your documentation section. This is going to be the bulk of what you turn in for your budget assignment. I went ahead and created a new Google document, called it Budget Documentation. I didn't attach it to the spreadsheet. I didn't continue on from the career page. I didn't try to put it in with the menu. I kept this as a separate document just to keep it separate and make sure that I had my different components when I went to print out and turn everything in. I went ahead and titled all of the categories. These are the same categories in the same order that they are in the spreadsheet. That's going to make grading a lot easier for your instructor and it's going to make them a lot happier doing this. Go underneath one of your titles and you're going to go to Insert Image. You can click here and upload each individual image. I am going to go ahead and open up all of my images. I'm going to get into my pictures. I'm going to get into my budget. Then all I have to do is click and drag an image over. It's going to make sure that it's the right image, put it in there. I'm going to insert anything that I've got from my apartment, and I know that I've got my address and I've got my utilities. If you have a separate one that shows the pricing, also make sure to include that. Underneath utilities, I'm going to do the same thing. Food, I'm going to do the same thing. I know I have food, so I'm going to grab those. And I have lots of food because in order to do the food images, I had to take lots and lots of images. So I'm going to insert all of those. With the food, let's save some trees here. You're going to have a lot of images for your food. They don't need to be the original size that they are. So here's what I'm going to do for my food. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that I can see what I'm working with. I'm going to click and I'm going to shrink the size of these. If I can get these so that they fit side by side and I can fit two next to each other, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to continue kind of playing with these until they show up side by side. The only thing your teacher is going to need is the item itself, the cost, how many you bought, and the total cost. If the images don't show up, that's super. It does not matter. So kind of play with the size of these until you can get them to fit side by side. That way you save a little bit of space, you're saving some trees. You're going to continue this process for anything else that you need to document. If you have something that requires a list, for instance, your Out with Friends requires a list, I'm going to type in movies, I'm going to say 2 per month, and then I'm going to include the screen grab. For things like incidentals, I might provide a list, or I might provide similar to what you did for food and give a shopping. If there's anything that needs explanation, so in the loan section, if I say parents paying half of undergrad, I'm going to include a space for my parent's signature. This is going to serve as your documentation. If you do not have a signature for something, then you need to have some sort of screen grab to prove those costs. If anything needs explanation for your insurance, if you are explaining why you are getting that insurance, do that here. All of the documentation, all of the explanation should appear in this part of your budget. Happy budgeting!